So electric vehicles are all the rage, not only across the globe, but right here in the United States, with an important milestone today. Volkswagen now releasing its brand new all-electric SUV crossover, the ID.4. To help us understand more about this vehicle and what VW plans for the future, let's bring into the stream Volkswagen of America President and CEO Scott Keogh. Good to have you here, and congratulations. This is delivery day. These vehicles are now being delivered, right?
Exactly right. Thanks, Adam. I really appreciate it. No, that's true. They just came out of our ports in Baltimore. They're working their way to our 625 dealers across the country. And so it's a momentous occasion. Very exciting day here.
And let's talk about the ID.4. This is a 5-seater crossover. It's a little bit smaller than the larger VW SUVs. But this is a milestone because it's all electric. Why is this the first?
It is, and as you know, it's on our MEB platform. It's a platform we use across the globe. This car is going to be manufactured in 5 factories, so it gives you a sense of the scale. 2 in China, 2 in Europe, and of course, our factory here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I think the crucial thing for us is we want to drive mainstream adoption. So for us, this car is an ASUV. It's an entry SUV, so it competes against the RAV4s and the HRVs, and for Volkswagen, our Tiguan. The name of the game is not competing for 2% of the electric car market. It's competing against the massive internal combustion engine market. So that's what we're looking to do, and I think we have the chance of a lifetime ahead of us.
Let's talk about the electric market, and I still want to talk about this vehicle, but let's talk about the electric market. We have some manufacturers talking about being all electric by 2035. I know that Volkswagen has talked about being carbon neutral by 2050, but your parent company, Porsche, they're making a big push with electric. Will we see more electric vehicles from VW in the next year or two?
100%. Look, I think if you look at the Volkswagen group, which of course includes Porsche and Audi, of course us as Volkswagen, we were the real first to take these big leaps. We signed on to the Paris Climate Accords. Of course, as you referenced, 0 grams of CO2 by 2050. That includes not just the cars, but manufacturing, logistics, and everything. So you're going to see a wave of electric vehicles coming across the globe, and certainly here in America. Look, Europe is probably going to be about 70% EVs within 10 years. I'd say China probably around 50%. I think the US will be closer to 30-40% or somewhere in there. But again, this is massive adoption. You're talking from nearly 2% of the market last year to that. So I think it's a big opportunity. The real defining thing for me, Adam, is going to be this year. This is the year where you have a full year of the Model Y, a full year of the Ford Mach-E, our car is joining the marketplace. I think you're going to look at about 5% of the US market this year. This is really the year of electric, and I think it's coming without a doubt. Between the government, between the investments from the manufacturers, and the consumer excitement that we see on our showroom floors, the tip is here, in my opinion.
What is VW's market share in North America? Is it 2.2%? This is everything, gasoline powered and electric.
Yeah, all in, Volkswagen is just over 2.5 points, 2.6 points. I think it's important, though, we also don't compete in the entire market, as you know. We only compete in about 60% of the market. We don't make a pickup truck. We don't make giant SUVs. In the market we compete in, we're just about 5% market share. So certainly, if you look at us globally, we're a brand of 13% market share. So certainly there's opportunities for us here in America, and that's what we're looking to do.
Wall Street Journal did a review of the ID.4, which, by the way, we see behind you. It's a beautiful vehicle. They used a couple different adjectives. One was spectacular, but they also pointed out it's heavier than, say, the Tesla version of a crossover SUV. And they said they would wait for the updates to the software and technology because they didn't use the word spectacular to describe it. What would you say to the person who wrote that review?
I assume that'd be Dan Neal, and I would zoom in on your first word, spectacular. No, look, I think on updates, it's a fascinating thing, and one of the things that's coolest about this car is the car has over-the-air updates. So a classic thing is plug and charge. Right now, the car does not have plug and charge. What does it take to do? You download the app, NFC, bang, your car is fully charged. But with over-the-air updates, we'll be able to offer that. So I'd say the car's ready to go. The car has a phenomenal price point, great technology, and we'll make it better every day, just like everything. But Dan Neal notwithstanding, absolutely.
Everyone's a critic. Let's talk about the price point for the vehicle. It's about $40,000. With the federal tax credit, what's that, $7,500? So if you buy this vehicle, how does that tax credit work? Do you have to itemize to get the tax credit? Or if you don't itemize, you just take standard deduction, can you then still get the tax credit? How does it work?
It's exactly how it works. So first of all, if you lease the car, of course, the vehicle is owned by the finance company. So you can bake in the $7,500 in your lease right at the point of sale. If you finance the car, to your point, of course, you'll get the $7,500 as a deduction on your taxes when you fill out the taxes. So that's how the federal work. The state one is, depending on the state, a little bit different. But at the end of the day, it's pretty simple to me. The car is $39,000, $7,500. States, as you know, put another $2,000. You're talking $30,000 for what I would say is a spaceship. The car drives phenomenally. Yes, Mr. Neal talks about the weight, but that weight brings low center of gravity. It grounds the car. Honestly, this vehicle drives like a GTI, and it puts such a smile on your face that it's a phenomenal machine.
If the tax credits are a big part of the sales push, it seems to me the marketing of the vehicle is to middle class and upper middle class folk, because that's who itemizes their taxes. Even fewer people now itemize taxes. It's higher income folk who itemize, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I see. But you know, the tax story is important. But again, Adam, I don't want to get convoluted in that. I think the core story here is you can buy an awesome electric car, new technology, access to technology that honestly the internal combustion engine competition doesn't even have. And I think that's the story. A really cool car in a mid $30,000 price point. And that's the edge, that's the angle that we have. And I think it's one we're going to continue to pursue. Because at the end of the day, yes, taxes are important, but I want to buy a really cool consumer product. And whether it's phones or whether it's refrigerators or whether it's cars, that's the story, and in my opinion, that's strongly what we have here.
The range on the vehicle is 250 miles, and you're offering, explain this to me, the 3 years of free charging, how does that work?
Yeah, it's as simple as that. So as you know, we've been building this massive infrastructure network with Electrify America. It has 800 stations, 3,500 chargers across the country. It's a high-speed network, upwards of 150 kilowatt hour of charging, and that's exactly what it means. You get 3 years full charging, entirely covered. So if you think about this vehicle, the tax credits on the pricing, maintenance dramatically less, and you don't have to pay for fuel. This car is a very, very smart purchase. That's how it works. It's free for 3 years.
How long does it take to get a full charge on the vehicle?
It depends on the state of charge, but to give you a sense of it, you can go from about 20% to 80% of charge in under 30 minutes. So it gives you a sense of the speed at these high-speed networks quite fast.
How much does that usually cost? I don't have an electric vehicle, so how much would that cost once you're out of the 3 year probation?
It would, the big thing, and I'm not trying to be obscure, is of course, it would depend on when you charge. Because of course, if you charge in the middle of the night, it's dramatically less than you're charging at peak times. But make no mistake, if you compare it to gasoline, you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars per year. So it's a massive savings offering this for free, which is why we wanted to do it.
But is there a metric for when you pull into the EV charging station, if you're on the road, what the average 80% charge is going to cost an owner?
Yeah, and again, that's why we wanted to take this out. Some of them have basically the simplest way to do it is usually you buy a package, and if you buy a package, that takes what I'd call the spikes out. Other than that, no, it could be spiking at that time, and you're going to pay at that time when it's there, depending on the package you have. But again, what we wanted to do, Adam, was take all of this guessing out and make the thing as easy and transparent and as simple as possible. And frankly, nothing's as easy as free.
That is absolutely true. One thing that's not free are the chips that automakers need to build vehicles. There's a global crisis. There's a shortage of chips. How's that going to impact production of this vehicle?
Look, I think we're going to navigate. On this vehicle, we are fine. Nothing specific on this car. If you look at it, particularly in North America, the region I'm responsible for, obviously we have two factories, one in Chattanooga and one in Puebla. So far and through the summer, we've been okay. We haven't had to cut production. We've had to modify production, maybe going from 3 shifts to 2.5 shifts. But I think we've been able to navigate it. And the truth is, we're going to put the chips in the cars where we have good margin. We're going to put the chips in the cars where we have less supply. And I think we can navigate it. And what you want to do is still hit your sales targets, obviously, and keep the factories running. But the complexity is going to be there. The other thing, Adam, is worth noting, we've gotten quite good at dealing with unstable supply bases, whether it's come from COVID, whether it's come from a host of issues. This is sort of the automotive business in this day and age. But it's going to stay tricky through the fall, without a doubt, Adam.
Scott, can you share with us any sales figures or targets you have for the ID.4, as well as production targets when it starts rolling off the assembly line here in the United States?
Yeah, we haven't released sales figures, and we're not going to. I think it gets you in that silly game of projections. I think the truth is we're excited by the car. Right now, I think we're sold out. We're importing the car from Germany as we speak. We have a lot of reservations, so basically the car is going right to the reservation holders. And then next year, we'll start to ramp up the car more aggressively when we localize at our plant in Tennessee. But look, I want people to love the car. I want the car to be a home run, and sales will follow that.
But there's no metric you can give us as to see basically how to rate this car as it competes against other EVs coming into the market.
No projection we want to give. Of course, we'll report on sales like we always do in this industry.
Scott,
and then you'll get your gauge by seeing the sales.
Yes. Scott Keogh is the president and CEO of Volkswagen of America. Thank you for joining us.